Now for just one quick minute, I want you guys to imagine something in your mind. Imagine getting a new Kinder Egg. There's nobody around to see you. You tear off that wrapper, you bite down into the delicious chocolate and hold on. There's nothing inside? That was basically me and the Baza Prime. I saw the announcement. I was so excited. Oh my god, the Baza Prime is finally coming out. One of the most beloved primary weapons in Warframe. And for good reason too. And then the quote-unquote leaks came and we saw the stats. Unfortunately, it showed some rather marginal buffs. And I was hoping maybe it's a mistake. Maybe the leaks are wrong. The leaks were not wrong. Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be diving deeper into this primary weapon. As per the usual, I got a couple of builds lined up for you. Something cheap-ish, something affordable that most players should be able to build. But of course, we also have the quote-unquote endgame setup with a Riven. That said though, please keep in mind that my builds and guides usually take a new player-friendly approach. I simply like to take my time and explain a lot of the aspects that veteran players should already be accustomed to. So in case you're a veteran, and you already know most of this stuff, please, bear with me. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Baza Prime. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of free shots. Oh look, a pretty lotus flower. Anyway, the Baza Prime is basically the Baza with an ever so slight buff. And that's saying quite a lot because the Baza was an extremely beloved weapon and still is. And there's a couple of good reasons for that. Reason number one, usability and handling. The weapon basically has no recoil. Take a look at that. You can unload the full 60 magazine with the Prime, with the weapon basically only twitching ever so slightly, which is absolutely freaking fantastic. So no recoil, the accuracy is also 80, which is above average, a lot above average. That means that the weapon can take heavy caliber. And the reload, super quick. 1.1 seconds, absolutely freaking phenomenal. Oh, and it's also silent, in case you didn't know. Now speaking about the Baza, let's have a stat comparison between these two beauties. Fantastic weapons, I absolutely love them, so I'm a bit biased towards them. Accuracy is 80, which is, again, very good, especially considering that the weapon is fully usable with heavy caliber while maintaining a decent accuracy, let's put it like that, and of course I will showcase just a tad later. Critical chance 28% versus 26%, yeah, poop-de-doo, 2% extra, and even if you factor in all of the critical chance mods that you can slap on this weapon, even with a Riven, that 2% extra never really amounts to all that much. Sadly, so there you go, an ever so slight buff. Critical multiplier 3.0x, the same as the original, which to me came as a bit of a surprise because considering the base weapon damage, it's 16 or something like that, they could have played around with the critical multiplier, but they chose not to, so there you go. Fall off on this one, it was between 22 and 34 meters. Now let's understand what is 22 meters in Warframe, because some players were complaining, hey man, the fall off is too low. This is 22 meters. To me, this was mostly enough, and this is where the fall-off started on the old weapon. But now it's up to 30 meters, and 30 meters will be this. So basically from this to this. There you go. Better fall-off on the Baza. Hooray! I know it's not an exciting stat, but it should really matter for some players that prefer long-range shots. So there you go, I guess. Anyway, back to our sheep. We got silent on the weapon just as before, magazine capacity 60 versus 40, and of course the exact same fire rate, which was super solid. Now I don't know if you guys remember my old Baza review, I loved this weapon, and the one realistic complaint I could make about it was the fact that the magazine was just too low and I was reloading all the time. Even though the reload was quick, it was still annoying to reload all the time. A huge increase on the magazine from 40 to 60. And the reload also has been decreased, reload time, from 1.4 seconds to 1.1 seconds. So the weapon handles even better than before, which is just amazing. 14% status chance instead of 10% status chance. If you look at it as a percentage increase, you're gonna say, hey, 40% increase, right? But it's only 4%. It doesn't really make all that much of a difference, especially considering the IPS on this weapon, the impact, puncture, and slash, or the damage layout. Unfortunately, puncture is still the highest, followed by impact and slash. So even though I get a higher status chance, I'm never gonna be able to proc my slash of the weapon's innate slash value, unless I get a minus impact Riven or minus puncture Riven, and even then, it's still gonna be priority number 2, so no cigar. That's a bit of an issue. The higher status chance helps with viral applications though, so there's that. And the elephant in the room, the damage. Yeah, the damage is the same. Why, D? Seriously, it's 16. It's on, what is that, 15, 67, I didn't even add it all up, it's so small. I'm sorry, it could have used at least like a 50% increase. It's not that powerful of a weapon. So if you're gonna take these buffs one by one and take a look at them individually, you're gonna say, hey listen, this is kind of a crappy prime, isn't it? I mean, the buffs aren't all that great, but if you take a look at the whole picture, you will understand that this is quite the nice buff. Okay, fine, it's not fantastic, but then again, the Baza was a fantastic weapon to begin with, so there you go. Beggars can't be choosy. And speaking about beggars, mod capacity 60 out of 60, and if your Baza Prime has only 30 out of 30, jump into actions and install the Auto King Catalyst. What does this have to do with beggars? Nothing, it's just a crappy segue, sorry. Anyway, the Auto King Catalyst can be obtained from Nightwave. You can farm and grind Nightwave to get one. You can get it from the Daily Sorter. You can pay 20 plat to have one installed, and sometimes it appears on alerts and invasions after dev streams. Now my weapon has been formatted 6 times, and not because I wanted to. Unfortunately, this weapon Excellus mod slot for normal weapons, non-Kuva weapons, complicate things. Because if you want to fit everything you got, plus a Riven, plus everything, you're gonna have to format the crap out of normal weapons, not just the Baza Prime. For a normal standard build, my friends, 2 forma, 2 V symbols are more than enough, especially considering that the Baza Prime does come already with 2 V symbols, so just 2 forma will be enough. This freaking mod slot got a whole lot of players in a pansy. Like, oh, we gotta populate it, we gotta plug something in because it's open, so I gotta put something in it. You don't have to. You do not have to. This on the Baza Prime at the very least does not provide a huge benefit. You can just forget about it. Just forget about it entirely because once again it doesn't really provide a huge benefit. But speaking about a huge benefit, how about a standard build for the Baza Prime? And we got damage restoration as well as heavy caliber, multi-shot to split chamber, critical chance, critical damage combo between point strike, vital sense, and free elemental mods, and allow me to explain. But you populated with alien. Of course I did. I want to show the weapon in all its glory, so of course I'm gonna do it. You don't need to, so that's basically the point. Now speaking about this weapon Excellus mod slot, you can populate it with vigilante supplies, 5% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. That's the set bonus, but keep in mind that this set bonus can be obtained from your Sentinel's weapon. Even if the Sentinel's dies and never comes back to life, you're still gonna be getting that bonus, so you don't need to plug anything once again into this one. But there you go, that's an option, or whatever else the hell you want. It doesn't really matter. When it comes to elementals, why the hell are you using 3 elementals? Why not only 2? Well, there's an unwritten rule in Warframe, which you should be familiar with if you watch my content. Impact, Puncture, and Slash, the 3 physical types, have a 4 times greater chance at applying a status effect over elemental types such as Heat, Gas, Toxin, you name it, Corrosive in our case. So basically, what I'm trying to do is get my Corrosive value higher than Puncture times 4. Okay, in this case, I'm gonna need 2 of the 60-60 mods or 2 of the 90 mods and a 60-60. Now, this is supposed to be the cheapo build, and I have high voltage. I apologize. It's because of the bloody forma. I don't want to reforma again. If you don't have high voltage, if you don't want to farm it from the mission, now Elgar, Planetaris, find all the free secret caches, then upon extraction, you got a 5% chance to get this one or Shell Shock. Yes, my friends, you will need them. Battle brings them, so keep an eye out for Battle. He just brought him on PC, so you're kind of out of luck. You're looking at it probably another month or so of waiting time. Grinding high voltage and Shell Shock is a pain in the arse, and Jolt and Voltaic Strike can only be obtained from Battle, so in case you see the bastard bring the 60-60 electricity mods, make sure you have a copy of each. You can buy multiple copies, especially Jolt and Voltaic Strike, so you can make a bit of a profit later on. Now, instead of high voltage, if you don't have it, if you don't want to buy it, if you were unlucky with Battle or whatever else, you can go for multi-shot with Vigilante armaments. I cannot show you that, even with 6 bloody forma, because I would have to reforma, but then my Riven setup wouldn't work, so thanks a lot for the weapon Excellus mod slot D, because basically it kind of comes back to that. Level 120 Corrupted Heavy Goons, because these are the benchmark. Now let's see what the Baza Prime can do with a standard elemental setup. Not very impressive, is it? Not very impressive at all. I got more corrosive than I need. I should be totally fine. And yes, sometimes it will kill a corrupted heavy gunner in a single magazine. If I manage to get enough headshots. As you can see, it is reliable. Sure, it's great, but is that good enough for a prime weapon? And from my point of view, definitely not. So to increase the power of this weapon, we're gonna have to rely on that overpowered mod, Hunter Munitions. Now, in case you noticed the excitement in my voice, I'm not a fan of this mod. I'm not doubting its power. This is an extremely powerful mod. 30% chance to apply a slash on critical hit. Basically, on any critical primary, you gotta use this freaking mod. That's what bothers me. It's as bad as Serration, for example. At least with Serration, you're not gonna be using it on Chroma, on Selfish Chroma, so there's that. Anyway, we're going to be slapping on Hunter Munitions, we're going to be getting rid of Stormbringer, and we're also going to be attacking the Elemental combo as well. Off with High Voltage, and we're going to go with a little bit of Cold. Not a lot of Cold, but just a little bit Cold. Now, ideally, in a situation such as this, you want to go for the 90 mods or Prime Cryorons. I do not have that possibility. Thank you very much, Weapon Excellence mod slot. There you go, something like that. You want to use both of the 90 mods because, again, when it comes to viral applications, you don't need a whole lot of them like you need Corrosive. You just need 1-2 good ones. So, by all means, go for the 90 viral mods, Cold and Toxin. And if you have Prime Cryorons, go for that one as well. Now we're gonna go with Hunter Momo. You'll see an interesting difference in performance. Viral goes really well with Slash, in case you didn't know by now. So we're gonna hit this target till about 50% and watch the Slash. Look at that. A mile better. That is a whole lot better than before. So of course, as before, as with the normal Baza, I am forced to recommend this one with Hunter Munitions. Even though I bloody hate that mod, it doesn't matter. That's my own subjective 2 cents. What is important is efficiency. And if all you care about is efficiency, you go with Viral and Slash, because you know what? This will be basically good versus a whole lot of targets. Not just Corrupted Heavy Gunners. It's going to be good versus Infested. It's going to be good versus Corpus. Slash and Viral is that kind of combination that is decent, if not good, versus mostly any situation. So bear that one in mind. This is the build that I recommend for you guys, the cheapo build. And you don't need the 60/60 mod there for Toxin. You can replace it with a 90 mod. That out of the way, it's time to talk Rivens. Yes, and I got a really cool Riven, which I forgot who loaned it to me, but thank you so much for loaning me this one. I really appreciate it. It's a Baza Saticron with multi-shock critical chance and minus impact. The minus impact is fantastic because less impact procs and more whatever else procs, basically. I cannot reach with a Riven disposition of 3 out of 5. I cannot reach minus 100% impact, so I can get rid of the impact or the puncture altogether. That is not possible with 3 out of 5, unfortunately. So there's that. The rest of the build is pretty much the same. I got Hunter Munitions, but I also got Bladed Rounds, which is 100% a solid option. As soon as you reach like 95, 98, there was a formula. I have a formula. It doesn't matter. You guys don't care about formulas, do you? Mental note, or better said, a question. Would you guys like me to show you my formulas and my Excels? Just let me know. I think it's boring enough as it is. But anyway, Bladed Rounds, or you can go for Argon Scope. In this case, in particular, considering I already got my guaranteed critical chance, it's better to go with Bladed Rounds instead of Argon Scope. Now, of course, I can drop Heavy Caliber for more crit, but in this case, Heavy Caliber will be providing more damage. So, there you go. We're going to be testing out the weapon like this with a pretty good Riven. I saw Riven prices on the Baza. God, why? Unfortunately, the prices have gone up tremendously, and I can't say that it's worth spending all that plat for a Riven on the Baza, because the Baza does not require a Riven to be a competitive weapon. So bear that one in mind. Now, let's see what the weapon can do. We're going to be hitting this target till about 50%. The first target went a little bit slow because I did not have my buff from Bladed Rounds. More critical damage will mean more value on my slash procs. Take a look at that. The values are up to 1900. Depends on the color of the slash. If it's a orange slash, it will be up to 1900. With this combination, you can actually get red slashes as well. I think you can spot a few of them here and there because of Vigilante supplies or whatever Vigilante mod I used in that weapon. Excellent mod slot. Well, my friends, as you can see, yes, a Riven does make a difference. Whoop-de-doo, would have guessed and all whatnot. But again, I don't think you need to go out of your way and spend a whole lot of plat. Unless, of course, you love the weapon and you want to get the most out of it. But again, you don't need to. The weapon is strong enough as it is. Now, there's still one more thing, which we will do, bump up everything with Warframe buffs. And a lot of you guys say, hey, I love your Mirage Prime section. It's fantastic. Why do you do it, though? Well, it's simple. It's fun. It's the only reason I need to do anything in Warframe. Fun. We're gonna go Rifle Amp. A lot more damage on the Baza? No. Considering the base damage, 27% extra doesn't really matter. Actually, in this case, it's a smarter idea to go with corrosive projection. Against Grenier, it's always a smarter idea to go with corrosive projection, but it's just an aura. Go with whatever the hell you want. But in terms of power, yeah, this one is the strongest. So there's that. When it comes to Arcanes, you do have a couple of options. I always recommend Arcane Avenger because this one applies to your primary, to your secondary, and to your melee as well. It's a tremendous Arcane 30% critical chance bonus. And you might say, yeah bro, but that's not a whole lot, is it? Well, it's bonus additive after. It stacks on top of what you already have. So even if you have a weapon with 0% critical chance, with this buff up, it goes to 30%. So it's absolutely fantastic. And you can farm it from the third Eidolon down on Cetus. Arcane Rage is also farmed from the third Eidolon down on Cetus, and this one on headshot 10% chance for plus 120% damage to primary weapons for 16 seconds. We're going to be going for a combination between these two, and of course you can also use whatever else you want. But these are the more powerful Arcanes. It might actually be better to invest in 2 Arcane Avengers because yes, my friends, they do double stack. Link the cards right now for a full demo on that. Let's unpause the AI, and you know what? Level 145 Corrupted Heavy Goons because basically this is the max I can spawn, and of course we're gonna be unpausing the AI so they can hit me and I can get me buffs. We're gonna be activating Mirage's free ability for a fantastic damage increase as well as her ever so lovely clones. And of course with the buffs from Mirage, this weapon can absolutely annihilate a target in just a couple of seconds. But what I can do is just gently spray on all of them, then watch the slashes deal the damage. And that's all she wrote for the most part. Though guys, please keep in mind that again we are using some rather extreme Warframe buffs through the magic of Mirage Prime. That said though, it's time to draw some conclusions regarding the Baza Prime. The buff was not fantastic. I don't need to tell you that. Again, it is definitely noticeable, especially when it comes to the magazine capacity, because again, to me that was the only issue the weapon had. And if you look at things like that, like the Baza was already a fantastic weapon, and it is a fantastic weapon, it didn't really need all that much of a buff. It's more the perceived idea of a prime weapon. A prime weapon needs to be a whole lot more powerful than its normal counterpart, right? Normally. In this case, it's a very small difference between the two. Even more usability. That's basically the win of the Baza Prime. You get a faster reload, 1.1 seconds instead of 1.4, and you get a much larger magazine. You get 60 instead of 40. Other than that, it's still the Baza, and it also looks a whole lot cooler. Subjectively cool, of course. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you got any sorts of feedback for me, I would love to read it in the comment section down below. Just to make things very, very clear, I do recommend the Baza Prime. Considering how Riven disposition works nowadays, so each and every single weapon has their own individual Riven disposition, you might end up using the normal version over the Prime if we get a higher Riven dispo. Right now, they're basically the same, so bear that one in mind. If you got any sorts of content ideas, I would love to read it in the comment section down below, but do bear in mind that I can't exactly promise you that it will be done by next time, or even within a week, because these things can take a bit of time to make. But what I can promise you is that I will be reading for each and every comment. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. And if you love the content, consider supporting us via Patreon. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.